vinyl community, welcome to another video with the Record Spinner. In today's video, I'm going to be showing off my top 5 most valuable records in my collection. This video is sort of a response to another video that was done recently here in the YouTube vinyl community. This video was done by Jarrett, otherwise known as Vinylize, and after watching his video and seeing the records that he showed off, it kind of made sense to look at my Discogs account and see which records in particular ranked as the most valuable, and I decided to pull them from the cubes and show them off here in this video. So we're going to get into that momentarily. Before I show them off, I will say this. Upon looking at the values of like my most valuable records, a small portion of them were box sets, and I decided on not showing them off in this video simply because box sets are a bit of a different animal, and if it's a product that features multiple LPs, there's already a rather high value upon purchasing, so I didn't really see the need to show them off. I'm focusing strictly on albums, whether it be single LPs or 2 to 3 LPs around there. Once you get up to 4, then I kind of consider it as like a box set sort of deal. So enough of the babbling. I'm going to show off right now my most valuable record in my collection, and that is Silversun Pickup's Better Nature. If you haven't heard this band, they are an indie alternative band from California. One of my top favorite indie bands at the moment, and this is their, as of now, as the filming of this video, their most latest album. And they did a Pledge Music campaign for this particular release where they had all kinds of bundles and whatnot. I think I ended up getting the Super Deluxe bundle, which featured the album on vinyl, CD, and even came with a t-shirt and a nightlight as well, which is pretty cool. Now this particular vinyl pressing is really awesome because, as you can see, it is signed by the band, and it is also pressed on this really unique colored vinyl. Now, I don't know if you can say it's clear. It's kind of like a cloudy, clear kind of vinyl. And there is like a yellow color blob right in the center, which is rather unique. I don't have any other records that look just like this. And this is a 2 LP set. And the music takes up 3 sides of the album. So on this side, we have the final 3 tracks. And you can kind of already tell on the other side, there is a rather cool etching, which is really cool, which is cool to look at. And the value of this particular pressing, colored vinyl and signed, came out to around $300. So as of the making of this video, that is my most valuable record in my collection. Put this back in the sleeve. And up next is actually one of the first records that I received for my collection way before I got into collecting in general. And surprisingly enough, I held on to it, and I'm very glad that I did, because this proved to be a quite a valuable item considering what it is, as well as how limited it is. What exactly am I talking about? This is Avenged Sevenfold's Nightmare. This was the first album to not feature Jimmy Sullivan on the drum kit, and I remember when this album came out, I mean, I was listening to these guys heavily at the time, so this is back in 2010. Right around Christmas time that year, I remember I was at I want to say it was about a mall that was about a half hour away with my parents, and I was at a Hot Topic checking out the records that they had, because I was like, oh wow, they sell records here, that's pretty cool. Just, you know, as a object, it was cool to see. And I came across this album, and of course I gravitated right to it because I was listening to these guys heavily, and I guess my dad was around at the time when I was there, and when I left, he must have picked this up for me and gave it to me for Christmas that year. Now this is a Hot Topic exclusive pressing, and it is indeed numbered. So as you can see, it is limited to 2,000 copies, and I got number 512, so it's within the first 1,000, which is really cool. It's a double LP set. The vinyl itself is in decent shape, but the sleeve, like, there's a little bit of ring wear on the back cover. Gatefold cover opens up like that, and it is pressed on really nice, heavyweight, solid red vinyl, which is really cool. Very nice, and it sounds absolutely phenomenal as well, I must say. And this particular pressing goes for around $170. So right off the bat, you're probably thinking that these records don't stand up as in value compared to other people's collections. It's just happened to be what I buy. I usually buy a lot of new vinyl and reissues, and depending on the release, the value tends to go up and up and up. So, like I said, $170 right here is the highest that this record has gone for. Up next is an album that I actually did an unboxing for on this channel. I did this really early on. I think this was my first unboxing that I did. And this is kind of a, not so much of a surprise, because limited edition, like, colored pressings of this particular band always go for a high price. I don't know what it is. There's so many variants out there of their albums and EPs and whatnot. And it's cool to have this album on as a collectible pressing, as well as their recent studio album, which came out this summer. That is Ghost. This is their double live album, Ceremony and Devotion. This came out on vinyl earlier this year. It came out digitally at the tail end of 2017, but the physical copies came out in January. This particular pressing was available through the band's Loma Vista music website, and it's a special pre-order version that features 2 LPs pressed on this quote-unquote tiger's eye vinyl, which is essentially orange vinyl with like black swirls and whatnot, which is really, really, really cool. And as of the filming of this video, this particular pressing goes for around $160, which upon seeing that, I'm just like, yeah, it's Ghost. I know right off the bat that that this thing would go for a high price tag. And up next is a single LP now, so we kind of got some doubles out of the way. We're going to get into my most valuable single LP. Now, this is one of the records. I mean, yeah, the values of the other ones that I've shown are cool, but this particular record I am very, very proud to own, and I'll explain why. I am talking about Billion Dollar Babies by Alice Cooper. Now, this particular pressing was done in 2016 as part of Rhino's Rocktober campaign. So what they'll do is all throughout the month of October, they reissue some albums on colored vinyl, and they're usually limited quantities. I don't know how many copies it is. I think I might have the sticker inside that says it. Yeah, it doesn't say how much, but it must have been quite limited, because as of now, this record goes for $130. And I guess that's understandable, because in general, when it comes to Alice Cooper and all the albums that he has under his catalog, this is the one that a lot of people go after, because, I mean, you have the title track, Billion Dollar Babies, you have No More Mr. Nice Guy, Generation Landslide, Hello Hooray. I mean, this is the essential go-to album for Alice. And of course, this is one of those albums that has a lot of knickknacks and gadgets to it. So it's kind of has like this sort of rounded corner to the cover. Obviously, this is pointing out because I put the record in an anti-static sleeve. And then you open it up and you have these really cool little photo cards that you can actually punch out, and there's stuff on the back of them. I kept the sleeve intact, so I kept these still in there. And this also features the big billion-dollar poster, which is really cool. And then, once I get this back in, I'll show off the rest. There's a really cool printed inner sleeve that the record came in. This side features the lyrics, and here's a really cool picture of Alice and the band right there. And this is pressed on really, really cool green marbled vinyl. So as you can see, show the light off a little better, you can see like there's flecks of white, flecks of orange, black, all kinds of cool colors, and just an absolutely gorgeous piece of vinyl in my collection, and mastered by Chris Bellman. So this is actually a very good sounding pressing as well. So I am very proud to own that. And like I said, around $130 this is it was going for, and just that value alone for a single LP is pretty much crazy. I know it's higher for other ones, but just personally for myself and what I own in my collection, very, very glad to own it. And last, I am going to show off what I purchased This was like the main record that I wanted on the first record store day that I went to, which was, I believe it was 2016 as well. I showed this off in one of my record store day videos. If you've seen it already, this will look familiar, but to those that don't, check this out. This is a really, really cool record. This is The Doors live at the Aquarius Theater. This is the first performance, so they did 2 shows. I think they did one in the afternoon, and then they did an evening show. And so this is the first one, and they actually went ahead and remixed this show specifically for the vinyl release, because apparently, I believe it was the masters were on a hard drive when this was first released on CD back in the early 2000s, and the hard drive could not be revived, so they actually went back and remixed it and perfected some of the flaws that were evident in the original remix that was done for CD. And little history behind the show, this was one of the first shows that was recorded for the band's live album, Absolutely Live. They only used a small portion of the stuff from these Aquarius shows, because once they listened to them, they were like, not all the performances are great, so they went ahead and they recorded stuff in New York and Boston and Pittsburgh and all kinds of other cities. And this is a 3 LP set, and it's limited as well, and it's numbered. So I believe this was pressed, it's a limited edition of 8,500 copies, and I have copy number 6,204. And it comes in a really cool, vibrant colored triple gatefold sleeve. And all of the records, first they come in nice polyline sleeves, and it is pressed on lovely, clear vinyl. Check that out. Really, really cool. And as of now, not much time has gone on to like have the values increase, but as of right now, considering that this came out 2 years ago, this is currently going for around $100, which is, for a 3 LP set, it's not too bad. I mean, I think I ended up paying $45 for this on Record Store Day, so it's kind of almost just about doubled itself. But who knows, over time it may acquire more value. Let me just put this back. And that right there are my top 5 most valuable records in my collection. Personally, I enjoy doing this. I do see myself doing a updated video on this, because I do have a selection of records in my Discogs list that have not been purchased on the marketplace simply because they're rather new, or just not enough time has gone to determine the maximum value of them. So I do see myself doing an updated top 5 valuable records once those particular records gain some value. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next video, and most importantly, keep the record spinning.